Hi friends, welcome to the study of Indian geography. After a long time we are starting an Indian geography, which is obviously the most important portion for you in the civil service examination. See, there are two types of questions which are asked in the Indian geography. One, in the preliminary examination you will find a question which is a direct question, which is related to the whatever the facts we are going to study while doing this lecture series on the Indian geography. But the other type of a question is an applied based question, which is based on the current affairs that comes on the daily news. So these are the applied questions where the knowledge of the current affairs is required to answer the question on Indian geography. But for the knowledge of the question on the Indian geography, you should also know very well, I am again repeating, you should also know properly or very well the physical part and the climate part, or we can say the geographical part of the Indian geography. So when we say why the pollution in Delhi, you should know the climatic characteristics that affect the Delhi, then only your answer will be complete. It is not that just the question will be from the current affairs section. The questions will be basically from the physical part, which you will have to supplement it with your knowledge of the current affairs. So let us study with the small introduction of Indian geography. In this first lecture itself, you will see how you, if you look at the past year questions, you will see how you can answer many of the questions which I will discuss in the introduction part of the Indian geography. Now let us start with the introduction or the physical part of India. I have drawn a physical map of India, and in this physical map I will give you a general understanding of how the physiography of an India looks like. So you see the topmost red line, which is having an hairpin like bend or U-shaped like bend, then it is sagging downwards, and then again it is bending U-shaped, are the great Himalayan mountain ranges. The tallest and the youngest mountains in the world, because these mountains were formed during the period which was known as a tertiary period. These are tertiary period young fold mountains of the world. We already know this from the sections of geomorphology, that the Himalayas are young fold mountains of the world. These are Himalayas, the tertiary young fold mountains of the world, which are slightly higher in the western part, but they are more near to the Tropic of Cancer in the eastern part. Now, before I start properly with the Indian geography, I want you to have two books with you. One is the NCERT Physical Standard 11th, India Physical and Environment NCERT, that is the Standard 11th NCERT, India Physical and Environment, Standard 11th NCERT, and India, the second book is India Land and the People, Land and People, Standard 12th NCERT. So these are the two NCERTs which are must for any student who wants to study Indian geography properly to clear the civil service examination. Now, what are the other sources of reference? What are the other sources of book? I can vouch here that I can tell you that if you follow my lecture series regularly, you do not require any other sources, but just follow this lecture series regularly. And the other third book which you should have is an atlas. You can use any of the atlas, but if you have not still bought any atlas, I think this atlas is a good one, that is the Oxford Student Atlas. There are two types of atlas. One is Oxford Student Edition, the other is Oxford School Edition. Buy the Oxford Student Edition Atlas, or if it is not available, then you can buy and if you already have, or if you have not bought, you can buy this. It's available on the Flipkart, it's available anywhere. Otherwise, you can buy Orient Longman Black Swan Atlas. So Orient Longman Black Swan Atlas is also good atlas. So the third requirement, which is the most important requirement, is atlas. Either Oxford Student Atlas or Orient Black Swan Atlas. Or Orient Black Swan Atlas. So these are the three things which are necessary. How to study? I will give you an introduction of the chapter. You study from my lecture. You note down whatever the important points I'm telling you. See, many students are asking for attachments, and yes, attachments. Where are the attachments? See, attachments are there. They will come there, but attachments have a limitation. I cannot include the dynamic part in the attachment. For example, if something while delivering the lecture, if something happens in India, maybe earthquake or something related to physical geography, something related to human geography, attachments cannot have such a dynamic part. So don't worry too much of the attachments. If you can include it in the notes, if you can include make the notes from my lecture, and if you can write down these notes, they will be much more beneficial than the attachments I will be giving you. So basic standard NCERTs, basic NCERTs from 6th to 12th. For Indian Geography, 11th, 12th NCERT plus daily following the lecture series regularly will be more than enough. What is this lecture series? We are giving you a platform where you can sit at home and enjoy the lectures. You can study and sit at home, saving your travel time, saving your money in the going to the physical classrooms. I know that the basic limitation is one-to-one interaction, what the student expects from the teacher, and the other basic limitation is the timely completion of the course. But obviously your course will be completed much before your preliminary examination, and if you follow this lecture series regularly, around 90 hours of the lecture has been completed in the physical geography, some 30-40 hours in the Indian geography. If you are following those 90 hours properly, the Indian geography will be very easy, because it is an application of the physical geography. For example, Himalayan mountain system, Youngfold mountains. You already know what are the Youngfold mountains, why they are formed. You already know the plate tectonic theory. So this is the way I ask you to follow the lecture series. Now, looking at the other part regarding there are many queries. The geography course is very vast. How to follow? Don't worry. Yes, geography is very vast, but it is also mark fetching. It is also one of the most, you can say, bankable option in the civil service examination. So something good, something bad. Yes, vast it is, but it is more bankable. Look at the positive sides, and we will start with our journey of Indian geography. Now let us see how to study this book. So before that, so follow a lecture. For example, I have given an introduction of Indian geography. You watch this lecture, read it from your 11th NCERT. I will teach you about mountains and the physiography of India. Follow my lecture, read it from your Indian geography NCERT. In this way, you will be able to complete your entire course on the geography. Now let us see how the India is. India is somewhat triangular in shape. The triangular part of India to the southern side near the equator, while it is like an inverted triangle having a base in the northern side. The northern boundary of India is the 3 parallel ranges of the Great Himalayas. So the Himalayas have occurred in 3 periods, and therefore we have 3 parallel ranges of the Himalayas. What are these 3 ranges of the Himalayas? These are inner Himalayas, middle Himalayas, and the Shivalik ranges, which we will do completely in the physiography of India. After the ranges of the Himalayas, come to this middle portion, in which are made by the 3 great rivers, starting first from the Indus River and its tributaries. Then by river Ganga and its tributaries, and then by river Brahmaputra and its tributaries. Then by river Brahmaputra and its tributaries. This great region of India is extremely flat, having soft alluvial soil. Alluvial soil means it has been brought down by the rivers which originate in the Himalayas. The rivers which have originated in the Himalayas have created a flat, fertile plain which supports one of the largest population in the world, and these are known as Great Plains of India. So these are the plains which are made by Indus River, by Ganga River, and by the Brahmaputra River, known as Indo-Gangetic and Brahmaputra plains. Now this is one of the most fertile and most arable land in the world, and obviously the population density here is very high. How is the nature of this? It is in the form of this plains. It is in the form of a soft alluvial soil. In India, we are mostly concerned with Ganga plain and the Brahmaputra plain, because Indus, though it originates, it flows inside India, originating outside India in the Tibet Mansarovar region. It enters India, but it flows mostly outside India because most of the part of Indus is drained into Pakistan. But there are 5 important tributaries of river Indus which have made the great plains of Punjab, both in Pakistan region and in Indian region. So you have Punjab plains in Pakistan, you have Punjab plains in India. In India, the Punjab plains is known as the famous state of Punjab. Why Punjab? Because it is land made by 5 rivers, so therefore the name Punjab. What are these 5 rivers? Wait for your Indian geography river or drainage pattern lecture. Then we have the plains which is made by river Ganga, and then we have the plains in northeastern India which is made by the river Brahmaputra and its tributaries. Some part of Indian plain which I have shown here, this part which I will now mark with red color, I will again shade with this red color, it does not have that much amount of rainfall. Why it does not have great amount of rainfall? Because the Aravalli mountains are parallel. You can see these are the Aravalli mountains. These are parallel in their direction to the direction of the southwest monsoon winds. So the southwest monsoon winds which come to India from southwestern part, they flow parallel to the Aravalli ranges, and as we know from our climatology lecture that any mountain to be an effective barrier has to obstruct the wind, and therefore it has to be perpendicular and not parallel. Therefore this region does not get a rainfall, and hence in fact even though the soil is fertile, it is a desert region, what we call as a Rajasthan desert in the state of Rajasthan and somewhat in the run of Kutch region of Gujarat. So this is the Rajasthan desert region, and it is drained by some of the rivers which are so small that they do not enter the sea here, and therefore this is a region of an inland drainage. So revising, what is this? This is the Himalayan range. This is the Great Plains of India, formed by Indus River, formed by Ganga River, formed by Brahmaputra River, and this is the Rajasthan desert region. In between there is one of the oldest mountain system in the world, which is known as now shading it by black color, it is known as the Aravalli ranges. These are the Aravalli ranges or Aravalli mountain systems. These are the oldest mountain system in the world. So see how interesting our land is. We have the northern part here which are the youngest mountain system, and because they are youngest, they are the tallest. And just to the south in the state of Rajasthan, we have the Aravalli ranges right from the Delhi to Rajasthan to the Mount Abu region. We have the Aravalli ranges. These are oldest mountain systems in the world, and because these are oldest mountain systems in the world, we do not have this. Obviously, these oldest mountain systems have undergone large amount of denudation, that means weathering and erosion, and isliye their height is very less. So these are in the form of low hills. The Aravalli ranges are in the form of low hills. We will study them. What is Mount Abu? What is the cultural importance of Mount Abu? That means my lecture series, I am not only restricting it to India physical geography. Whatever comes in current affairs, whatever comes in news, I will try to incorporate it in my lecture series so that you will have maximum benefit after watching this lecture in the examination hall. After the Aravalli ranges, this is the great region is made up of hard rock. This inverted triangular region which is bounded on the north by this mountain which is known as a Vindhyan mountain system. These are Vindhyas, and down there are series of broken red color lines which are made up of 7 mountains, therefore Satpura mountain systems. These are the Satpura ranges. So Vindhyas and the Satpura ranges forms the northern part of the peninsular plateau region. What is a peninsular plateau? This inverted triangular part is known as a peninsular plateau. So this inverted block of India is a peninsular plateau region. Why the peninsular plateau region? The first thing you should understand, what is a peninsula. Any land which is surrounded by 3 sides on the ocean, by the oceans, or by the sea is known as a peninsula. So here this inverted triangle part of India is surrounded on this side by the Arabian Sea, is surrounded on this side by the Bay of Bengal region, and downwards it is surrounded by the part of both Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea, that is the Indian Ocean region, and therefore this part is known as an peninsula. Therefore this part is known as an peninsula. How is this peninsula? It is in the form of a flat table. It is formed in the form of a flat land by having steep sides on the border. So it is a flat land bordered by steep sides. So this shaded area is a flat land bordered by steep sides. That means it is at a certain height. How it is at a certain height? Vindhyas, Satpura ranges, Western Ghat region, Eastern Ghat region. So such a flat table land, does it not look like a table? How is table? Flat, surrounded by by some steep sides. So it is a higher part of the earth which is having a flat land surface surrounded by steep sides, and therefore it is known as a plateau. Therefore the Indian part, this part, peninsula, because it is surrounded by oceans on the three sides, and it is a flat table land. Table land means a flat land having steep borders, and therefore this area is known as a plateau, and therefore this combined we call it as a peninsular plateau region. How is the peninsular plateau region? The peninsular plateau is also one of the oldest landmass in the world, and because it is the oldest landmass in the world, it is at the we can say it is at the older stage of erosion. In this stage of erosion, the energy level, when a human being is in the older stage, the energy level is down, and therefore the rivers which flow are also on the peninsular plateau. You can apply it here. They are in the older stage of their life cycle, and therefore this peninsular plateau is in the form of a flat tableland which has some isolated hills in between. Now let us look at the parts of the peninsular plateau. The peninsular plateau consists of some Marwar plateau here, Malwa plateau here, Bundelkhand land here, Chota Nagpur plateau region here, and then Vindhya and Satpura mountains here, and then central part, that is what is known as a Deccan plateau, while some extension of the peninsular plateau is in the northeastern India. So this is this older part of the world, which is, because it is older, it is one of the most stable landform in the world, is known as a peninsular plateau region. Now let us look at the hills of the peninsular plateau. What are the hills of the peninsular plateau? The first hill here is the Aravalli mountain system. After that we have Vindhya ranges, what I have shown in the red color. Then we have Satpura ranges, again showed in the broken red color. So we have Vindhyas and Satpuras. On the western side there is a continuous mountain system here, what are known as a Western Ghats. While on the eastern side there are discontinuous hills which are known as an Eastern Ghats. This Western and Eastern Ghats meet at a mountain range which is known as a Nilgiri. This Western and Eastern Ghat meet or in the mountain ranges which is known as Nilgiri here, which itself is that is the Nilgiri itself is a part of an Western Ghat region. So the Western Ghat region, it consists of Sahyadri mountain ranges, Nilgiri mountain ranges, and the three hills which are lying below. These are known as Annamalai hills, these are known as Cardamom hills, and these are known as Palani hill system. Now the junction of Eastern and Western Ghats is the Nilgiri mountain system, which itself, the Nilgiri mountain system, is a part of the Western Ghats. After the junction of Eastern and Western Ghats, down we have the state of Tamil Nadu, which is a flat plain area. Therefore, it is a Tamil Nadu plains. While on the other hand, we have the west coastal plains of India and we have the east coastal plains of India. The Deccan, the peninsular plateau is also separated from its arm or its extension in the northeast. This part, this is also a part of the peninsular plateau. It is separated by river Ganga, or it is separated by Rajmahal hills here. It is separated by Rajmahal hills here. And it is separated by What are the three hills here? These are Garo, Khasi and Jaintia. So it is separated by Rajmahal Hills and the Garo Hills. So this Rajmahal and Garo Hills are separated. Why they are separated? Because this area underwent faulting or fracture, and this area of a faulting or fracture, beach mein Ganga and Brahmaputra have deposited large amount of sediments to form plains. So we have an extension of a peninsular plateau which is known as Shillong Plateau or Garo Khasi Jaintia Plateau, and because it lies mostly in the state of Meghalaya, it is also known as an Meghalaya Plateau. So keep in mind, Meghalaya Plateau is an extension of the peninsular plateau region in the northeastern states, which is now known by the three mountains of Garo, Khasi and Jaintia. It is separated by a gap on the basis of this Rajmahal Hills and on the basis of this Garo Hills as Rajmahal Garo Gap. It is separated by Rajmahal Garo Gap. It is separated by Rajmahal Garo Gap. So the Rajmahal Garo Gap separates the Meghalaya Plateau region from the Peninsular Plateau region, though the Meghalaya Plateau region is a part of an Peninsular Plateau region. So this is the Peninsular Plateau region. Now, how this the largest part of the Peninsular Plateau is this inverted triangle. Again, keep in mind, why inverted triangle? Why triangle? Because it is a triangle, therefore it is known as a peninsula. Because it is an old flat tableland, therefore it is known as a plateau region. So this is known as a peninsular plateau region. In the peninsular plateau region, as you can see, the blue shaded area, this blue shaded area has undergone during the Cretaceous period, during a period which was known as Cretaceous period, some million years back. This underwent or experienced a volcanic eruption, and this part is known as a Deccan Lava Plateau region. So this part is known as a Deccan Lava Plateau region. This part is known as a Deccan Lava Plateau region. So these are not the exact spellings of a plateau. So do look at the exact spellings from your books, because obviously you do not expect that I will write each and every spelling properly, because the motive here is to teach, and if I keep on writing the full forms, it will take, there is a limitation of the board. So please understand what is the spelling of a plateau, and I am writing PLT as a plateau. So here this part of the peninsular plateau region has underwent an volcanic eruption which is known as an Deccan Lava Plateau. On the other side of a Deccan Lava Plateau, we have the Chhattisgarh plains, we have the Dandakaranya Plateau region in this part. This part is the Dandakaranya Plateau and the Chhattisgarh plains region. This part is the Telangana Plateau region. This part, which I have written as T, it is the Telangana Plateau region. No doubt you know that. Now this part, the Telangana Plateau and the Telangana Plateau region, is the newly formed state of India. The 29th state is the Telangana state. After that, we have downwards, we have the Rayalaseema region. We have the Rayalaseema region. This Rayalaseema region, along with this part, is what is now the coastal Andhra Pradesh. So this part is the coastal Andhra Pradesh, the new states. So the Andhra Pradesh, the original Andhra Pradesh, is now divided into Telangana and the coastal Andhra Pradesh, or the existing Andhra Pradesh consisting of Rayalaseema and the Andhra Pradesh. This part is the Karnataka Plateau region, and down you have Tamil Nadu plains. What are the major rivers of the peninsular plateau? The major rivers of the peninsular plateau, or the second biggest river in India. Again, remember, second biggest river only in India is this Vridaganga or Dakshin Ganga, which is known as a Godavari river, which originates in the Deccan Lava Plateau in the state of Maharashtra and flows into the Bay of Bengal. Then you have the Krishna river system, again originating in the state of Maharashtra and flowing into the Bay of Bengal region. Then we have lastly the Kaveri river, which originates in the state of Karnataka and flows and is one of the biggest, most important river of Tamil Nadu, which goes into the Bay of Bengal region. So the three bigger rivers of India, the Godavari, Krishna and the Kaveri, are the part of the Bay of Bengal drainage system, along with Ganga river, along with the Brahmaputra river. These are the rivers which flow into the Bay of Bengal region. While there is another two important rivers in the form of river Narmada, which flows between Vindhya ranges and the Satpura ranges, and in the form of river Tapi, which flows to the south of the Satpura ranges. These two rivers, this is the river Narmada here, and this downwards is the river Tapi here. So just have a general idea now. We are obviously going to do this again in very much detail. Now this is just an introductory class so that you have a complete idea of India. So this is the river Narmada, which flows between the Vindhyan mountain system and the Satpura mountain system. In between there is a river Narmada which flows, and therefore it flows through a Rift Valley region. We have already done this. And southwards to the Satpura is the river Tapi. This originate in the peninsula region, but you see how these rivers flow into the Gulf of Cambay region. So this is the Gulf of Cambay, which is a part of the Arabian Sea region. So these rivers flow in the Gulf of Khambat or Gulf of Cambay, which is a part of an Arabian Sea region. So the Narmada and Tapi form the part of the Arabian Sea drainage system. Which is the other big river which forms the part of an Arabian Sea drainage system? You have answer in the map here itself that the Indus River is a part of an Arabian Sea drainage system. So the Ganga, Brahmaputra, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri form the part of the Bay of Bengal drainage system, while the Indus River along with the Narmada River along with the Tapi River form the part of an Bay of Bengal drainage system. So this part of India is known as a Northeast India, North India, Central India, Southern India, West Coastal Plains, East Coastal Plains, and the Rajasthan Desert region, while the states of Punjab and Haryana here. Now, if we look at the climatic characteristics of India, or if we look at the type of India from the latitude and longitude, the most important latitude, India, where does it lie? India lies in the southern hemisphere. Why does the India, we say, lie in the southern hemisphere? India lies in the northern hemisphere. Why do we say India lies in the northern hemisphere? Because it is to the north of the equator. It's very simple, but at what dimension it is to the north of equator? The dimension of India, now give me I will just rub this central part so that you have an idea. The northern part of India, the India lies between so we can say these are the Andaman and Nicobar, the southernmost part. So the India lies from between 8 degree 4 minutes north. India lies between 8 degree 4 minutes north to 37 degrees 6 minutes north, to around 37 degrees 6 minutes to the north. So what is the dimension of India? India lies in the northern hemisphere between 8.4 degree north to 37.6 degree north. So that means India lies for around 30 degrees. The difference between these two is 30 degrees. For the north-south extent of India, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, is for around 3214 kilometers. So the north-south extent of India is for 30 degrees for around 3214 kilometers. While this is how the north-south dimension is here. Therefore, we say India lies in the northern hemisphere. Now, it lies in the region it is known as a subtropical country. Before that, how is the east-west extent of India? India lies from around, I will use the blue pen here. India lies from around 67, we can say India lies for around 67 degrees, 68.7 degree east. It lies between 68.7 degree east to around 97.25 degree east. To around 97.25 degree east. I hope, yes, it is visible to you. So it lies from 68.7 degree east to around 97.25 degree east, while the north-south extent of India is between 8.4 degree north. It is between 8.4 degree north to around 37.6 degree north. For a distance of 3214 kilometer. Now let us look at the east-west extent of India. The east-west extent of India is from 68.7 degree east to the 97.25 degree east. Now it lies for a distance of 2933 kilometers. It lies for a distance of 2933 kilometers. So the east-west extent of India is for a distance of 2933 kilometers, while the north-south distance of India is the 2314 kilometer. So this is the extent of India. Now look here at the irony, or look here at an interesting fact. Difference between 8.4 to 37.6 is somewhat around 30 degrees. Difference between 68.7 to 97.25 again is to around 7 to 30 degrees. That means the extent of India in the terms of latitude from north to south is around 30 degrees. Are you getting me? 8.4 to 37.6. What is the latitudinal extent of India? Somewhat around 30 degrees. What is the longitudinal extent of India? Longitude means these lines are longitudes. What is the longitudinal extent of India? From 67.8 east, 68.7 degree east to 97.25 degree east. This is the longitudinal distance of India, somewhat around 30 degrees. Now I want to ask you a question. When we say India, we say Kashmir se leke Kanyakumari tak. We never say Arunachal se leke Gujarat tak India bada hai. We say from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, but never or seldomly we say from Arunachal to Gujarat. Why is this? Because, now look at an interesting fact here. Though the east-west and the north-south extent of India is both 30 degrees, but the east-west extent of India in the terms of kilometers is lesser than the north-south extent of India. What is the east-west extent of India in the terms of kilometer? It is 2933 kilometers. While the north-south extent of India is 3214 kilometers. It is 3214 kilometers. Now why is this? Though the latitudinal and the longitudinal extent of India is somewhat similar, that is around 30 degrees, why the difference comes in east-west extent and in the north-south extent? Here you will have to refer to your old class. See, now understand. Please try to understand why I am saying your basics should be done properly. It is because if you know how are the latitudes and longitudes from your basics, the imaginary line which go parallel to each other, parallel to the equator, are known as latitudes. These latitudes are at equal distance away from each other. So you can see, therefore, this latitude are an equal distance away from each other, and therefore the north-south extent of India comes to around 3214 kilometers. What are longitudes? Semicircles which go from one pole to another pole are known as longitudes. Now, by our basics, we know longitudes are not at an equal distance away from each other. The largest distance between the longitude is at the equator, while the longitudes may the distance keep on decreasing as we move away from the equator. And this you apply here as we move away from the equator, which is much to the south of India, 0 degrees. India is near 8 degrees, which is much to the southern part of India, and therefore in the east-west extent there is a difference in the calculation because of the nature of the longitudes. That is, the longitudes are not at equal distance away from each other, but away from the equator they keep on becoming nearer, and therefore the difference between east-west extent comes to around 2933 kilometers. Where is this east-west extent maximum? The maximum east-west extent lies between the state of Arunachal Pradesh here in the east. It lies between the state of Arunachal in the east and between the state of Gujarat in the Gulf of Kutch region in the west. In the state of Gujarat, between the Gulf region in the west. So the maximum distance in India is from Arunachal Pradesh to Gujarat here in the east-west, while in the north-south the maximum distance is from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. So this is the distance of India. Kashmir se Kanyakumari, Arunachal se Gujarat. Keep this in mind. Many past year questions have been asked. The maximum distance between the east-west extent, north-south it is very common. Nobody will make a mistake from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. But people make mistakes in east-west distance. They think that Rajasthan is the most westernmost state. No. You see here, this is how India becomes in the north. So the Gujarat is the westernmost state. And neither Sikkim neither Nagaland nor Manipur nor Mizoram, but Arunachal Pradesh is the easternmost state. So the easternmost state is Arunachal Pradesh, while the westernmost state is the Gujarat. What is the difference between them? 2933 in the terms of kilometers. But what is the difference between them in the terms of longitudes? In the terms of longitudes, the difference comes to around 30 degrees. The difference comes to around 30 degrees. What are the longitudes made for, useful for? They are useful for calculating. So it is in the terms of 30 degrees in the terms of longitudes. What is the use of longitude? Longitude is used for calculating time. As when Earth completes 360 degrees in 24 hours, you obviously know that 1 degree longitude equals 4 minutes of a time difference. Eastern places will have sunrise earlier. Western places will have sunrise later. Revise your first lecture in the prelims special section, that is latitudes and longitudes. So that means the 30 degrees time difference will be around 4 minutes into 30, which comes to around 120 minutes. 120 minutes will be 2 hours in the terms of hours. So what is the difference between Arunachal Pradesh and Gujarat in the terms of sunrise or in the terms of time? We have in the terms of time, the difference between the Arunachal and Gujarat is around 2 hours of difference between the terms of time we have. This is the difference that lies between the sunrise in Arunachal Pradesh and sunrise in Gujarat. So if the sun is rising at 5 o'clock in the morning in Arunachal Pradesh, after 2 hours the sunrise will be in Gujarat. So the maximum distance between east-west coast of India is of 2 hours, and the maximum difference of time in these two states, the maximum distance between the eastern and western coast of India lies between Arunachal and Gujarat, and the maximum time difference between these two extremities of India is 2 hours in duration. But do people from Arunachal or people from the northeast India, do they have a different time from the people of Maharashtra or Gujarat? Are we having different time zones? No. Why? Because we have India being a one country, there has to be political unity, there has to be mental unity, and therefore we have fixed one longitude which passes from 82 82.3 degree, this longitude which passes the longitude of 82.3 degree east longitude, and this is the longitude through which we determine the Indian Standard Time, through which we determine IST, which is Indian Standard Time. And obviously the Indian Standard Time is 5 hours ahead of, sorry, it is 5.5 hours ahead of Greenwich Mean Time or World Time. So Indian Standard Time, Indian clocks are 5.5 hours ahead of Greenwich Mean Time. So if it's 1 o'clock in the London, our clocks on the base of this 82.3 degree east is 1 plus 5.5, that is 6.5 in morning or evening. We are to the east, so we will be ahead of Greenwich Mean Time. So therefore the plus, that means in the evening. So if it's afternoon 1 o'clock in London, in India it is evening 6:30 in India. So that means we are 5 hours 30 minutes, therefore I have written 5.5 hours. So or 5 hours 30 minutes ahead of Greenwich Mean Time. You can even write this way, 5 hours and 30 minutes. So we are 5 hours 30 minutes ahead of the Greenwich Mean Time, because this 82.5 degree east longitude is the Indian Standard Time. Now look at another interesting fact of India. India lies between the tropical regions and in the subtropical regions. Half of the India lies in the tropical regions, while other half of India lies in the subtropical region. Now, why is this so? This is so because the Tropic of Cancer, that is the 23.5 degree latitude, 23.5 degree latitude of northern hemisphere to 23.5 degree north, what we call as a Tropic of Cancer, exactly divides India into two parts. So half of the India lies in the equatorial or tropical regions, the other half of India lies in the temperate regions. So but because of the presence of Himalayas, while half of India lies in the tropical regions, because it is to the south, while half of the India lies to the north of the Tropic of Cancer and therefore in the temperate region. That means, do we have cool summers, cool winters in India, because India lies in the temperate regions? In this part, or with Delhi, for example, how is the summer? One good thing about the super props is you don't have to come to Delhi during the summer season, because you can enjoy it at your home sitting in the place, because Delhi has bad climate in the summer or bad weather in the summer season. Summers are extremely hot, winters are extremely cold. So that means India, though half of the India lies in the temperate region, but India does not enjoy the similar characteristics or similar climate which is at the other part of the temperate regions. Temperate regions means somewhat moderate climate. Summers are not very hot, winters are not very cold, or the winters can be cold even, but the summers are never extremely hot. But Delhi mein summers become unbearable. In the northern part of India, the summers become unbearable. This is why. Why is this? This is because of the presence of the great mountain systems of the Himalayas. The presence of the Himalayas, due to the presence of Himalayas, India has a climate which is known as a monsoon type of a climate. So due to the presence of Himalayas, a special kind of a climate is there in India, which is known as a monsoon type of a climate. So this Himalayas have formed monsoon type of a climate, and they also act as a proper barrier. We will do that while doing the Himalayan ranges. Come to the Tropic of Cancer, and because India enjoys a special type of a climate, India is totally classified as a subtropical country. That is neither the tropical country nor a temperate country. It is a country which enjoys a subtropical type of an climate. You already know from the climatology section that what is a subtropical climate. Link it, interlink it. If you want, stop your lecture and try to recall, try to revise your topics. So come here again. India mein the Tropic of Cancer divides India into two parts. What are these two parts of the tropic? The northern part and the southern part. While the Tropic of Cancer passes through the states, when I say it divides India into two parts, obviously it should be passing through some of the states, and these are the states you should be knowing. So what are the states through which the Tropic of Cancer passes? The first state is, what is the state here? In India, the Tropic of Cancer passes through the state of Gujarat. Then open your atlas and look and revise with me and learn with me here. Open your atlas of physical India, this Oxford School Atlas, open this first page. Or any atlas you are carrying, open this part of India political and revise with me, or you can draw a line here, highlight this Tropic of Cancer line. So what are the states through which India the Tropic of Cancer passes? The first state is Gujarat. The second state is Rajasthan. Can you see a small line of Rajasthan? The third state is the state of Madhya Pradesh. The fourth state is the state of Chhattisgarh. So the fourth state is the state of Chhattisgarh. The fifth state is the state of Jharkhand. The sixth state is the state of West Bengal. The seventh state is the state of Tripura. And the eighth and the last state is the state of Mizoram. The state of Mizoram. So in India, the Tropic of Cancer passes through the state of, revise with me, very simple to remember. What is this state? Gujarat. What is this smaller part? Here you can see there is a smaller part of Rajasthan. MP के बाद Chhattisgarh, उसके बाद Jharkhand. After that, this part itself is a West Bengal. This part is Tripura and this part is Mizoram. So the 8 states, revise, learn with me again. Gujarat, Rajasthan. Remember, Rajasthan may say a small extension of Rajasthan in the south, and therefore the Tropic of Cancer passes through Rajasthan. उसके बाद it's very simple to remember. Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura and Mizoram. So the 8 states through which the Tropic of Cancer passes. Now, should we stop here? No. Look again at your atlas and tell me what are the capital cities of the states which are near to the Tropic of Cancer or which are exactly on the Tropic of Cancer. The first capital city we will start from west is Gandhinagar. The first is Gandhinagar. Gandhinagar is the capital of Gujarat. The second capital city is the city of Bhopal, the capital of Madhya Pradesh. The third capital city is the city of Ranchi, capital of Jharkhand. The next capital city, which is very near, is the city of Aizawl, the capital of Mizoram, the city of Aizawl, which is the capital of Mizoram. While the other cities which are nearby. See, even the capital of Tripura, Agartala, is nearby, but it is not as near as Aizawl. It is just to the north, the capital of Tripura, that is Agartala. The capital of Agartala, while the other important city are the industrial towns of Jabalpur. There is Jabalpur over here. There is a Jabalpur over here, while the Ujjain is over here. While Ujjain is over here. Ujjain is over here. So if the question comes in the examination, if you are traveling from west to the east on the Tropic of Cancer, what are the following cities you will see in which of the following order? Start first, capital of Gujarat, Gandhinagar, yes it is. Capital of MP, Bhopal, yes it is. Between Bhopal and Gandhinagar there is a pilgrimage center, Ujjain. So Ujjain is also nearby. After that, Jabalpur is an important city. After that, the capital of Jharkhand, Ranchi is there. After that, the capital of Aizawl, capital of Mizoram, Aizawl is there. Agartala is just to the north. But you remember, these are the cities from north to south. So these are the important cities on the north to south. These are the important cities from west to the east. While the states here, you have, I hope that you have learned this. Look at the map here. Look at this page of the atlas in the India political map. See, I will require your cooperation with the map while doing Indian geography. What if you cooperate with me? I can promise you at least 90% of the questions that will be able. 100% obviously even I cannot promise, or nobody can promise, but most of the questions you will be able to answer through. But it has to be an interactive study while doing Indian geography. So the best way to interact is start with this atlas and note down the notes. Jot down the important points. I hope you have jotted this down. I hope you have drawn this diagram. If you don't know the map of India, don't worry. Draw. How to draw? Draw it in this part. A lobster shape, down this way and then this way. Beach mein se Tropic of Cancer, and then mark Gandhinagar, Ujjain, Bhopal, Jabalpur, Ranchi and Aizawl. And in the examination you can draw this diagram also. Make them some map of India somewhat. So it's very simple. You don't have to draw an exact map for explaining the parts. So the Tropic of Cancer passes. This is the important latitude in India, the Tropic of Cancer, while the important longitude in India is 82.3 degree east, which serves as a Indian Standard Time. 82.3 degree east, which serves that as an Indian. It is a longitude through which will determine the Indian Standard Time. Now let us look at the dimensions of India. Obviously, the territory which is to the north of the Tropic of Cancer and to the territory which is to the south of Tropic of Cancer. Can you see? See, I will again shade this part. The territory which is to the north of the Tropic of Cancer and the territory which is to the south of Tropic of Cancer, which is larger in dimension, to the north or to the south? Remember, the territory which is to the north, because of the limitation of the board, I have shown Himalaya downwards, otherwise it won't be visible to you in the camera. The territory which is to the north of the Tropic of Cancer is twice as much as the territory which is to the south of the Tropic of Cancer, because India is a big country. How big is it? India is the 7th largest country in the world. India is the 7th largest country in the world. The biggest is Russia. The second biggest country in the world is Canada. The third biggest country in the world is US of A. The fourth biggest country in the world is China. The fifth biggest country in the world is Brazil. The sixth biggest country in the world is Australia, which is also the smallest continent in the world. And no doubt the seventh biggest country in the world is our India. The seventh biggest country in the world is our India. So India is the seventh biggest country in the world. And what are the countries which are bigger than India? Russia, Canada, USA, China, Brazil, Australia. Now remember one interesting fact of Brazil. Brazil is the fifth biggest country in the world by area as well as by population. While these are the countries biggest in the world by area. India is seventh biggest country in the world by area. Brazil is the fifth biggest country in the world by area. Russia is the biggest country in the world by area. But as I told you, remember an interesting fact about Brazil. Brazil ranks fifth in both area as well as in population. Now India, which is the seventh biggest country in the world, accounts for 2.4% of world's land area. So India accounts for 2.4% of world's land area. So we account for just 2.4% of world's land area, but this 2.4% of world's land area supports around 16% of world's population. That means too much pressure on the land here too much population pressure on the land here in India. So it accounts for 16% of world's population, the second biggest, most populated country in the world. And by 2050, it will be the most populated country in the world. No doubt there will be fight, there will be competition for each and everything, including the civil service examination. So you can blame it on the population pressure, that why the stress of this civil services examination is very high. 2.4% of the land area injustice 16% of world's population. So on this 2.4% of world's land area, we are having very high population density. So 5-6 lakhs people writing the preliminary examination. Usme se 1,000 will make it to the final list. That too if the vacancies are that much. But don't worry about these things. For you fight your own battle, you fight your own cause, compete with yourself, and there is obviously every person will succeed in that. Now, this 2.4% of it, this seventh biggest country in the world, you remember, is nearly as 13 times India is around 13 times as big, is 13 times bigger than Great Britain. It is 13 times bigger than Great Britain. 13 times, why only Great Britain I am taking? Because that was our colonial master. So India is 13 times greater than Great Britain. This colonial master, which was smaller than us, 13 times smaller than us, ruled us for so many years. So this is the entire part of the Indian in this India, that is the Tropic of Cancer. Remember again, the area to the north of the Tropic of Cancer. The area to the north of Tropic of Cancer is twice than the area to the south of the Tropic of Cancer. Is nearly twice than area south of Tropic of Cancer. Why? Because it is extremely broad and extremely wide in the north. Therefore, the area to the north of the Tropic of Cancer is twice as large as area to the south of the Tropic of Cancer. Each and every statement is important. You jot it down and start revising. Now, this is the entire India, the 7th biggest country in the world. How do the states stand in India? Which is the biggest state in India? Now, let us look at the dimensions of the states in India. The biggest state in India is the state of Rajasthan. Rajasthan is the biggest state in India. By the terms of area we are doing. We are not doing by the terms of population, because the population we will be doing as a separate chapter in the demographics of India, where you will know about the population and the related demographics such as sex ratios, such as education, etc. So the Rajasthan is the biggest state in India in the terms of area. Remember, Rajasthan is equally big as Germany, which itself is a developed country, which itself is a powerful nation. Rajasthan is as big as Germany. So Rajasthan ke baad, the second biggest state in India is Madhya Pradesh. The third biggest state in India is Maharashtra. The fourth biggest state in India is the state of UP. The fifth biggest state in India is the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The sixth biggest state in India is the state of Gujarat. The seventh biggest state in India is the state of Karnataka. The eighth biggest state in India is that state of now the present day Andhra Pradesh. Present day Andhra Pradesh means does not include the part of Telangana. So it is the 8th biggest state in India. Then 9th biggest is Odisha. And the 10th biggest is, you will be surprised, but we don't think it is the state of Chhattisgarh. It is the state of Chhattisgarh. So the top 10 states in the terms of area are the states of, you should remember how many. Remember, if you can, if it's possible, the top 10 states, or if it's not possible, remember the 5 states. Rajasthan, MP, Maharashtra, UP is the 4th largest, but largest in the terms of population. Then Jammu Kashmir, and then Gujarat. Remember, Chhattisgarh is the 10th largest state, and present day Andhra Pradesh is the 8th largest state in India, while the largest state is the state of Rajasthan. So these are the biggest states in India. You don't have to remember all the smaller states, you just remember the 2 smallest states in India. Which is the smallest state in India? Is it the state of Sikkim? Yeah, is it the state of Goa? Which is the smallest, Sikkim or Goa? Goa is the smallest state in India. And uske baad Sikkim is the next smallest state in India. So Goa and Sikkim, these are the 2 smallest states. Goa is the smallest, and uske baad it is the Sikkim. So these are the states in India. How many states are there in India? Obviously very simple. There are 29 states in India in total. There are 29 states in India. And there are how many territories, union territories in India? How many union territories do we have in India? We have the union territory of Delhi, we have the union territory of Chandigarh, we have the union territory of Daman, and Diu, we have the Union Territory of Dadra and Nagar Haveli, we have the Union Territory of Pondicherry, we have the Union Territory of Lakshadweep, and we have the Union Territory of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So, out of this Union Territories, which is the biggest Union Territory in the terms of Union Territories? The biggest is Delhi, Lakshadweep, Andaman, Nicobar Islands. Remember, the biggest Union Territory is Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Look in the atlas at the location of an Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The second biggest Union Territory, remember, is the capital of Delhi. The second biggest Union Territory is the capital of Delhi. The third biggest Union Territory is Dadra and Nagar Haveli, which we call as DNH, Dadra and Nagar Haveli. And the fourth biggest Union Territory is the territory of Puducherry. The fourth biggest Union Territory is the territory of Puducherry. After that, the smallest Union Territory is the state Union Territory of Lakshadweep. The smallest UT in India is the Union Territory of Lakshadweep. Is the Union Territory of Lakshadweep. And usse thoda bigger is the Union Territory of Daman and Diu. Is the Union Territory of Daman and Diu. So these are the Union Territories of India. Now let us look at the biggest one is the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Remember, Delhi is the second biggest. In fact, just remember this two, while the two smallest are Lakshadweep and Daman and Diu. Now let us look at the coastal states in India. This is the coastal region of India, which is this part of India is the coastal region of India. How many coastal states are there in India? How many states have a coast or sea shore near them? Find it out in the atlas, measure the states. I am giving you, I won't do all the states. This I leave to you as an assignment or as an homework. Remember, there are 9 coastal states in India. There are 9 coastal states in India. There are 9 coastal states in India. Now, looking at the international boundary of India, how is the international boundary of India? The international boundary of India, here there is Pakistan. Here there is Afghanistan. After that there is China, Tibet region of China. In between there is Nepal and Bhutan. There is Nepal, Bhutan, and यहाँ पे again China, and then there is a Myanmar or Burma here. And down there is an island of Sri Lanka. But we do not share any land boundary with the Sri Lanka. So the countries which surround India are, in between there is the biggest country, that is the Bangladesh. So the countries which surround India are Bangladesh, China, Myanmar, Afghanistan. Remember, Afghanistan also touches India, but now the part of India which touches Afghanistan is under illegal occupation of Pakistan. That is, it is under Pakistan occupied. It is a part of the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So here Afghanistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. These are the land frontiers of India, or the boundaries of India. We will study these boundaries in the next lecture in detail. So I hope that you have enjoyed the introduction of India, right from the Kashmir to Kanyakumari and right from Arunachal to Gujarat. Look at the past year questions, see how the questions have been asked from this part. and enjoy your studies. Till the time we meet again, thank you very much.